So here are two rectangles. So the first one is ABCD and the other one is PQRS. Now according to the info, QR is 10, so label it 10, and BC equals PQ. So let's label PQ, I don't know, X, meaning BC is X and the other similar ones are X2. Alright, so just like that. Of course, if QR is 10 PS, let's call it 10 too. Now according to the info, the perimeter is 26 for the first shape, so P equals 26, and that's the first one. Whereas for the second shape, the area is 45. So that's basically A equals 45. Now what we can do is pretty much give expressions for these, yeah? I'm going to go ahead and label AB Y, so DC is also Y. Meaning the perimeter of the first shape must therefore be what? 2x plus 2y equals 26. Okay, so we just jot that down. And in fact, before we could even simplify that. Divide the whole thing by 2. X plus y is going to be 13. So that's kind of simplified it. Likewise for the area, base times height is 45. So x times 10, which is essentially what? 10x must equal 45. Divided by 10, you should get x equals 4.5. That's it. So we're actually almost done. And by the way, we're trying to find the length AB, yeah? So we just have to find the value of y. So plug in 4.5 to the first equation, rearrange to find for y. Well, 13 take away 4 is 9. Take away another 0.5, you get 8.5. That's it. Done. Alright, number 8. So work out an estimate for that value. Alright, so typically for this question, guys, you should always try and round it to, I don't know, one significant figure. That's what I usually do. So the one significant figure, you can see the first number is 60, second is 100. However, when you do it, you get root 600, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to do that. So if you get kind of stuck here, it's always good to try something else. So what I will try is, let's try, I don't know, two significant figures, yeah? So let's try and round out two significant figures. Now doing so, you'll see that 63.5 is actually 64. Well, the second one is still 100, and yeah, we know what the root 64 is. Square root 64 times square root of 100 is just basically 8, and the second one is just 10. So that means you should get 80. Okay, B. So 2.3 to the power 6 equals 148. Now find the value of 0.23 to the power 6. Okay, so this is actually quite easy if you see the trick. The trick is, if you look at 2.3 and 0.23, we can see that those numbers are 10 times apart. So this means if you're powering 1 by 6, that means the decimal place is also going to move instead of 1 place, but 6 places back. So this means that our final answer is actually going to be 0.000148. And that's it. And find the value of 5 to the negative 2. Okay, so the negative power means that it's a reciprocal. So instead of 5 to the minus 2, it will be 1 over 5 to the power 2. And that's just 1 over 25. And that's it, guys. Now, moving along to number 9, they want us to work out that multiplication fraction problem. Okay, so with these kind of problems, my first tip is to always convert that mixed number into an improper single unit fraction. And the trick is, guys, is always take that whole number 3, multiply against the bottom number 2, which is 6, and to add it to the top 1 to make it 3 times 2 plus 1, which is 7. So that's 7 over 2. And if you repeat for the second one, you got 1 times 5, which is 5, add 3, which is 8. So you got 7 over 2 times 8 over 5. Now all we want to do here, guys, is literally just hit this head on, yeah? So we're going to do what? 7 times 8, that's going to give us 56. And then we've got 2 times 5, which is 10. So almost done. So 56 over 10. Now we could simplify, but let's go ahead and just switch up to mixed numbers, yeah? And we ask ourselves, how many times does 10 go into 56? Well, it goes 5 times, remainder 6. So in other words, it's 5 whole, and then you got a 6 at the top over 10. And well, we know that 6 over 10 are both in the 2 times table. So half in both, and you get 3/5, guys. And that's it. The graphs of equations 3y plus 2x equals half and 2y minus 3x equals that fraction have been drawn on the grid below. Okay, so it looks to me we've got 2 straight lines, and because both of the equations are linear, it has to look like that, and they're meeting at some point. Now using the graphs, find estimates of the solutions of the simultaneous equations. When it says find estimates of a solution, all it means is that where do the 2 lines meet. So you don't have to do no fancy algebra with these equations. You just look at the graph and just say, okay, where is that intersection point? Well, it's right there. In it. So all you guys have to do is literally zoom in a bit and just see what point that could be actually. So let's have a careful look up here. So my advice, guys, is just to do dotted lines across and horizontally and vertically. And just looking at that, I mean, the top one looks a bit like 2.2, 2.3. Let's just say 2.3. Whereas on the left side, that's the 3 points down. Let's say minus 1.3. And that's it, guys. So we just jot those two values down, and we just write that as our solutions for x. So we could say, okay, x must be 2.3, y must be minus 1.3. So a bus company recorded the ages in years of the people on coach A and the people on coach B. Here are the ages of the 23 people on coach A. Okay, so you're given a bunch of values in numeric order here. So the youngest being 41, the oldest being 79. And now it says that we need to complete the table below to show the information about the ages of the people on coach A. So to work out the median in this case, all we got to do is count how many people there are, which is 23, and always add 1, and then find the halfway value. So in other words, we divide it by 2, because 2 is the median. Now halving it, you should get the 12 person, and the 12 person should lie just about over here. So it's the person age 59, and that's it. Now to find the lower quartile, it's just like the median. Instead of finding the half person, you find the first quarter. So divide it by 4. And well, 24 divided by 4 is 6. So we're looking at the 6th person. Once again, counting, you should get the 6th person to be 53 years old. Now for the upper quartile, it's more or less the same as the lower quartile. In this case, you find the first quarter, but you times it by 3. Because the upper quartile is the third quartile, 24. Well, 3 quarters of 24 is just 6 times 3, which is 18. That's it. So we're looking for the 18th person. Now, once again, you just count all the way. And since we know where the 6th and 12th person is going to be, you can just see that the 18th person has to be over here, which is age 66. Alright, moving on. So here is some information about the ages of the people on coach B. Okay, so we've got the same kind of data, but this one's filled out. Now, Richard tells us that the people on A are younger than those on coach B. Is he correct? Well, to show that someone is younger, the coach A needs to have lower values than B. Well, looking at the median, that's lower than B's. Lower quartile is lower, upper quartile is lower, and even the least age is lower as well. Actually, I didn't check that properly. But yeah, in general, we can just say, yep, since all statistics in coach A are lower than those in coach B, for example, the median is like the one we're dropping, 59 versus 70. And from this, we can conclude that people in young A are actually younger than those in coach B. And that's it. Now for C, it says that Richard says that the people in coach A vary more in age than those in coach B. Now, what does this mean? What they're asking us here is to find the range of ages. Yeah. So who are the youngest people and who are the oldest? Well, looking at coach A, we can see that the age vary by 38 years old because the difference between the highest and the lowest age. Whereas in coach B, it's actually 43. So in fact, according to the statement, we can say that, is this statement true? No, because the range of ages in A is actually lower than those in B. And that's it. And then you can put like some sort of like values. 38 is less than 43. And that should be enough, guys. So here are 3 spheres, P, Q, and R. It tells us that the volume of each sphere is 50% greater than the previous one. And then wants to find the volume of sphere P as a fraction of the sphere R. Now, the way I'd personally do this, guys, I'd go ahead and label P as X, yeah? The volume of P is X. Only because we need to kind of think about what's going on. Now, telling us each one is 50% more, so you can kind of think of it as a 50% increase, so 1.5 multiply. So if the first one is X, that means the next year will be 1.5X, and then going from Q to R, it's going to be 1.5 times another 1.5. Well, we need to know that 15 times 15 is 225, so 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. I mean, there's various ways to do that, but that's one way we can do it. So therefore, we're going to have 2.25X. So that's pretty much the volume of R, yeah, in terms of like that. Now, they want us to find the volume of P as a fraction of R, yeah? So in other words, we're going to have to divide the two volumes, P over R. So the volume of P over the volume of R is just basically what? We know the volume of P is X, and the volume of R is 2.25X. And that's it. This is our answer. But because they both got X, we could just cancel it out. So we'll be left with 1 over 2.25. And that's it, guys. I just want to thank you guys for coming to this end of my channel, and if you've enjoyed the content so far, just go onto my channel page, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for more notifications, and if you want, you can do personalize or all, and that way you won't miss any future maths or educational videos. Anyway guys, thank you for watching and see you next time. Ciao.